Very excited about this because we got some details about this guy right back here, Ghost Rider. Looks like we're going to get a new tag, Supernatural, and there's going to be some team-up synergy with Elsa, Bloodstone, Doctor Strange, Mordo, and Scarlet Witch. I'm very excited about this. We're also going to talk about mods, and then we're also going to talk about saving some of the orange raid orbs inside of the raid store. I think it's pretty important to talk about that. First, let's talk about the kit for Ghost Rider, which I'm guessing this is going to come out with Elsa Bloodstone for Halloween. That'd be the guess. So they're talking about right here a mystical team consisting of Elsa, Bloodstone, Doctor Strange, Baron Mordo, and Scarlet Witch. And then later in this video, they continuously talk about Supernatural. And I'm guessing Supernatural will be a tag so that they get some bonuses. It looks like they're going to get a health and focus bonus. Ghost Rider also has some extra damage right here. It just says the more wicked the opponent. I'm going to guess this is going to be like Daredevil, where he has a bonus against villains. Then he also talks about having single target damage with a drain mechanic, and then the more allies that are dead, the more damage it will do. Now, if he dies first, he actually will give out an energy to, I guess, the Mystic or the Supernaturals. We'll have to see when you see the kit. And then right here, we got the animations for with the bike and his chains. That looks like a lot of fun. I'm pretty excited about this because, you know, Doctor Strange, Mordo, Scarlet Witch kind of have been in a weird place, kind of like Spider-Verse. How do you play them? And then lastly, this is the part I like the most. It's like when he dies, he gives out ability energy to supernatural allies. And then he also talks about giving extra health and focus. Are you excited about this? I'm pretty excited about this. I think it's something we need. All right, let's talk about mods, or not mods. We're going to call it ISO-8. There is a blog post that came out today talking about what ISO-8 is not going to be, and we just want to talk about this. Closed beta playtest details. Starting today, we're running a closed beta test for a feature currently in development for Marvel Strike Force. Nearly 100 players have been given access to a closed server to help us test this feature and provide feedback. I was invited, but I can't figure out how to get it to work. So we'll see how that goes. I guess I can't talk about it anyways once I do get inside of it, but I have not been able to get into it yet. During this playtest, which will likely last 2 weeks, those players are going to be asked not to publicly discuss the details of the features, as many of those details are still in flux, and many won't be finalized until after we get and review their feedback. And it's interesting is that when I was back at Fox Next, they pulled me, Casino Valley, and actually Arnold T11 into a room, and they asked us for some very specific feedback about ISO-8. And a lot of the conversation had to do with my and Arnold's experience in Galaxy of Heroes. So they did take that feedback, and seems like they're in tune with the community on that. And I'm going to give my opinion on ISO-8 at the end of the video. ISO-8 features is crafting enhancing system for individual characters that grants improvements to their stats. This feature will mark the beginning of your ability to customize the characters in your roster and choose which stats of them you want to further improve, such as damage, health, armor, focus, and resistance. This will be an additional layer of strategy and theory craft or squad composition in combat. And I do like the idea of customizing my characters and, you know, giving damage to Phoenix, but not health. Giving focus to Pyro. That seems like a good thing to have these mechanics and be able to boost characters and make their strengths bigger, and to be able to play smart and have an extra level of customization. I think it's a good thing. This description might sound similar to features that you've encountered in some other games. The dev team intends to learn from the missteps that those other systems have made, and there's several design aspects of the ISO-8 feature that we're able to share with you now. ISO-8 system will not launch with additional speed stats. That's really all I want, right there. No speed. That is what makes Galaxy of Heroes unfun in my opinion, was the speed. And so I'll give you my opinion right now. I'm actually okay with this as long as it didn't include speed. And there were some other things that I have issues with, and I'll talk about here in a minute. Players will be able to craft as many ISO-8 crystals daily and make deliberate progression towards customizing the specific characters they want to prioritize. A concern for us in designing the ISO-8 system is not to make the modifiers so powerful that they will become the only focus of a character progression. We want ISO-8 to complement the leveling, stars, and gear sieves, not overshadow them. I think this is fine. We want to be as transparent as possible on our ISO-8 feature and look forward to sharing more details in the coming weeks as we're being able to finalize them. And part of the conversation that I had, one of the concerns that I had and I shared with them is a lack of API and the ability to view my roster and other people's rosters on a third-party website, because that is vital in Galaxy of Heroes for me to be able to manage my mods, and it's very time-consuming. And so there was a conversation about that, and they had a system that they were talking about, and everything was theoretical. Who knows what they're going to implement? I was very deliberate in talking to them about one of the frustrations that I have here in Galaxy of Heroes. This is a software that I use in Galaxy of Heroes before each of the tournaments, before the tournament starts. And you can see that I have 176 characters, and in my 176 characters, I have almost 1,100 mods, plus I probably have another 300-400 sitting in my inventory. And this allows me to sort my characters in order of priority over here on the right, and that is fine. And then it optimizes the changes to move the mods around. I hit optimize my mods, and it says that I need to move around 500 different mods. And the problem with that is that will take me about 6 hours. So there was 2 issues that I was very explicit about, is that this moving around of mods needs to be either infrequent or inconsequential or very easy to do. And he had a suggestion that I thought would be a good solution to that problem. We will see. Like I said in the post, they don't know what they're going to do exactly. They're waiting to get feedback from people. And secondly, without API, which is what we have right here, API is the ability for me to look at your roster and for you to look at my roster, or my guild leader to look at my roster. There's no way currently for all of my characters and power levels and gear levels and ISO-8 mods and things like that to show up on a website. The game doesn't have any like export feature. And if the game is going to move into a direction where it's complicated, like it is in Galaxy of Heroes, they're going to need to have some sort of API function so that we can use these tools like this great website behind me here. Or even just simple things like my alliance wants to plan for alliance wars and they want to know what the power level of my X-Man is, and I have to give them screenshots or I have to import it to Google Sheets. So API will eliminate that problem and make these tools. But the time required in this game with mods is atrocious. And I just want to say this, is that a couple times I've gone to events, you know, like when I'm with Arnold or other YouTubers and we're all hanging out. We have like a Galaxy of Heroes meetup or a Marvel Strike Force meetup where a bunch of people get together like at Dave & Buster's, and people come up to me and they show me their accounts. There was a percentage of people that just chose not to interact with mods in Galaxy of Heroes because they were too complicated and they did not like them at all. And I do get that. So I'm hoping that this system won't be overly complicated. Next, let's go into the game, and I want to just go and show 2 little tips that I've been doing. Is that now that 71 has come out, there's a daily activity where you have to upgrade a character, and then you also have to gear a character. And one of the things that I've been doing is that you can spend 315 gold just by tapping on the green icon right there and hit apply, and that'll count for the train up and the daily activities. The other thing that I want to bring up is something that I'm doing. A lot of people saying, why do you have so many saved orbs? I am currently hoarding all of these orange gear raid orbs. And the reason for that is that there is nothing inside of them, with the exception of this piece right here, that I need. Everything on these pieces I have quite a few hoarded up, like 5,000 of them. I've got this stockpiled, and there's nothing in here I need, so there's no benefit for me to open them right now. I don't need to open them. And what I'm hoping is that something changes with these orange orbs, and they get merged into these orange elite orbs, or that this gets reworked, kind of like the purple gear did. And so I'm saving them in hoping that they will switch over to this orange elite orb, because there's tons of things, gear that I do not have inside of the store, and lots of things that I just don't have. And these ones right here, they cost like 50,000. Every time I see them, I buy them because I don't really know what they're for. They're probably needed for the 72 level upgrades, and so I'm just collecting them right now. And I would suggest doing that too. Every time you go through your supplies, just look to see what your current inventory levels are. All right, let me know what you think about Ghost Rider. I'm actually personally thrilled about Ghost Rider. I feel like that'll provide a good home for Mordo and Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch. I mean, I've already got decent homes, but I will be able to move my characters around more, and I'm hoping that there'll be a strong offensive team in war. Although Mordo has been a good defensive team player. And then also Doctor Strange seems to get high value in war because there's always effects, it seems like, if you've got deflect and things like that. So it seems like there's a lot of value even in Doctor Strange on defense and war. We will see. All right, guys, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.